Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Welcome to Primetime Crime Podcast. I am your host, Kylie, and in this podcast, we are going to deep dive into some lesser known unsolved true crime cases, from missing persons to unsolved homicides. This is the place where we are going to unpack it all, research it all, talk about it all, and try to bring justice to these families after all of these years. We are going to take it one story at a time, one case at a time, and hopefully justice will be ours.
Welcome to the Getting Down and Wordy podcast ad.
What do we do on this podcast?
Well, it's the first Edda musical podcast.
Can you try that again in real words so that people can understand?
Fine. We talk about the intersection of popular music and language.
Oh, can we also talk about Eurovision?
Okay.
Find us on Apple and Spotify.
We are a Podmoth Network podcast.
Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Deklan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we'd like to end our time with a chaser. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to contact us by email or social media. You can find our contact info in the show notes for this episode. If you'd like to support us through Patreon, you can find us there at Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast, or use the link in our show notes.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy. How are you doing today, Deklan?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good as well. Thank you. What story do you have for us today?
I have a couple of different things. I'm going to be talking about some bizarre deep sea creatures. I've got a handful that I'll be talking about. What are you going to be telling us about today?
I am going to be talking about a murderer from Alaska who is potentially a serial killer, but it's not, he doesn't meet the requirements for a serial killer yet.
Please tell me it's the Alaskan Avenger.
No.
Oh.
No.
I've been wanting to do a story about him, but it's hard to find enough information. He's a dude that I don't know if he beats them up or if he kills them, but he hunts down pedophiles like on the sex offender list and fucks them up.
Oh no, we should definitely look for information about that.
It's pretty recent, so I think he's still going through court stuff right now, but
okay. This guy is not, he is not an avenger of anything. He is not a good person.
Okay.
He's also not very smart, but we'll get to that. My drink to go with this story is called No Man's Land. I picked it because sometimes people call Alaska No Man's Land, so that's what we're going with. This is a bourbon cocktail. No shock to anybody that I picked up bourbon cocktail, but it's 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine, 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, and 3 dashes of orange bitters. The steps are to combine all ingredients with ice in a cocktail shaker, shake well, and strain the mixture into a rocks glass filled with fresh ice. And if you want, you can garnish with a lemon twist. I think it's going to be good.
I think so too.
I don't think it's going to be too sweet either because it's only 3/4 of an ounce. I think it's going to be right up my alley. It's all the things that I like. And it's a nice red cocktail. So let's see.
Let's give it a try.
That's delicious. I love that a lot. I'm going to put it at the back of the table so that I don't drink it all and not be able to talk while I'm telling you my story. But I don't see this making it to the end of the recording. I think I'm going to drink it all before then.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
That's good. I mean, how could you go wrong? Bourbon, bitters, a little bit of acid, and a sweetener.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's what I drink most days that I drink. Okay, let's talk about Alaska. It is a wilderness that stretches for thousands of miles, dense forests, frozen rivers, and highways that cut through empty land for hours at a time. When someone disappears there, it can take days, months, or even years before answers begin to surface. Sometimes a missing person is lost to the environment. Other times they are lost to something far more deliberate, which is what happened in this case and why we're talking about it. In 2019, police in Anchorage received evidence that seemed almost impossible to believe. A small digital memory card had been handed to investigators. On it were photographs and videos that appeared to show a brutal killing taking place inside of a hotel room.
And who gave this?
I'm going to get into all of that and I'm going to talk about the circumstances of how this person got that information. The footage would eventually expose the murders of 2 Alaska Native women and reveal one of the most disturbing homicide cases the state had seen in years. But the story of those crimes begins long before investigators ever saw the videos. It begins with 2 women whose lives brought them to Anchorage and with the man who crossed their paths. Let's first talk about Veronica Abouchuk. Veronica was born in a small coastal Alaskan village. Life in these communities is often closely tied to family, culture, and traditions that have existed for generations. But opportunities can be limited, and many young people eventually leave their home villages to seek work or services elsewhere. Over time, Veronica traveled to Anchorage, the largest city in Alaska, joining the many residents from rural villages who moved to the city for work, housing, or other services. By the late 2010s, she was living in Anchorage and facing difficult circumstances. Friends and family would later say that they had not heard from her for months. In February 2019, Veronica was officially reported missing. Her family had last seen her months earlier and grew increasingly worried when she stopped contacting them. For months, there were no answers. Now we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about a second woman. The second woman of this story is Kathleen Jo Henry. She was born in 1989 in another small western Alaska village. It was also remote and deeply rooted in Alaska Native culture. Like many villages in rural Alaska, it is isolated and accessible primarily by plane or boat, which I can't imagine. I mean, we live in a small town. You're from a small town. But you can drive in and out of it. Could you imagine being stranded here unless you had a plane or a boat?
Yeah, you can only buy what whoever has an airplane is willing to bring onto the island or remote area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, I really want a pineapple, but those don't exist here at the store.
Right, exactly. And milk costs $15 a gallon.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Kathleen, her journey eventually led her to Anchorage as well. By the late 2010s, she was living in Anchorage and having housing challenges. Like many people arriving from remote villages, adjusting to city life could be difficult. People who encountered her during that time described a woman navigating challenging circumstances while trying to get by. In early September 2019, Kathleen encountered a man in Anchorage. Within hours of meeting him, she would become the victim of a brutal crime. The attack took place in a hotel room in Midtown Anchorage. Investigators later determined that the man responsible had been staying at the hotel between September 2nd and September 4th of that year. Evidence showed that Kathleen was beaten and strangled inside the room during the early morning hours of September 4th. The killing might never have been discovered if not for a strange chain of events weeks later. The break in the case came from someone who had encountered that man personally. Her name was Valerie Kassler. In September 2019, just a couple weeks later, after Kathleen we're going to say disappeared, but she was murdered. Valerie, this other person, was in the man's truck. While he was inside of a store. So he's driving around. He picks up Valerie. She later said they were on a date. It potentially was she may have been a sex worker and was in his truck for a paid date, if you will. He was driving her around and he stopped at a store. While he was inside, she decided to steal his cell phone. She intended to sell the phone, and so she pocketed it and hid it. When he got back in the truck, he was like, "Have you seen my phone?" And she's like, "Nah, I don't know where your phone is." When she got away from him later, she opened the phone and made a very terrifying discovery. When she finally looked at it, Valerie discovered disturbing images and videos stored inside. Realizing the footage appeared to show an actual murder, she copied the files onto a memory card and then turned them over to the police. And that is how detectives got a hold of it.
I just want to say, if you have murder videos on your phone, you'd think you'd put a password on it so a random hooker can't fucking steal it and get into your phone and see you murdering people, right? That's just, I don't have videos of people being murdered on my phone and I still have a password on there.
Yes.
If someone steals your phone and you don't have a password, they could just buy whatever apps they want if your card's attached. But like, if you have murder videos on your phone, you'd think you'd put a password on there. Just saying.
Or at the very least, password protect the stuff.
Yeah.
Which many phones you can do. You can hide your really incriminating stuff that you don't want other people to see.
Yeah.
And make it, Well, not this guy. And it's a good thing because it led to this investigation. Detectives with the Anchorage Police Department began reviewing the material. The files contained dozens of photographs and several video clips documenting an assault on an unidentified woman inside a hotel room. Investigators determined that the victim in the footage was the same woman who had disappeared earlier that month, Kathleen Jo Henry. The images showed that the attacker had tortured her before killing her and then attempted to dispose of her body and hide evidence of the crime. Police also noticed something else in the recordings. The man's face was never visible in the footage, but his voice could be heard clearly, and he had a distinctive accent. Investigators were eventually able to identify the voice as belonging to a man named Brian Stephen Smith. Brian Stephen Smith was born in South Africa in 1971. Years later, he immigrated to the United States and eventually settled in Anchorage, Alaska. By 2019, he was living in Anchorage and working various jobs in the area. After analyzing the evidence recovered from the phone and memory card, police moved quickly to locate him. He was arrested in October of 2019 at the Anchorage International Airport after returning from a trip. Once in custody, investigators began questioning him about the videos and the death of Kathleen. At the time, investigators did not yet know that the disappearance of Veronica and the death of Kathleen would eventually be tied to the same person. During the interrogation, Smith made a confession that dramatically expanded the scope of the investigation. He admitted that Kathleen was not his only victim. Smith told detectives he had previously killed another woman but he didn't know her name. So detectives showed him several pictures of missing women, and he finally identified the victim, and that was the first woman we discussed, which was Veronica Abouchuk. According to investigators, Smith said he had encountered Veronica in Anchorage sometime in 2018 while his wife was away from home. Yes, I said wife.
Hang on. Let me put...
Uh-oh.
Fucking smoke alarm's going off. 1 sec. fucking hate those things.
Was there too much humidity in your house and it set off the alarm?
Who knows? They just go off randomly. It doesn't. They're just
Oh
the
my
cheapest
God.
fucking piece of shit. They haven't done it too much recently, but the one right next to my bedroom used to go off at like 3 a.m. randomly, and I just about threw that thing outside on the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And it's like,
that'd be annoying.
You can't replace the battery on them. Like, they have an enclosed battery, so if you want a new one, you have to get a whole fucking new one instead of just put a new battery in there.
That's annoying.
Cheapest fucking piece of shit.
Oh, you only have to survive it a couple more months.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Back to our story. According to, where was I? Yeah. Smith encountered Veronica and then he brought her to his house. During the encounter, he became angry after she refused his request to shower. He basically was saying, you need to go take a shower, and she said no. And so his response to that was to get his pistol and shoot her in the head. Because, if somebody says they don't want to take a shower, that's what you do, is you murder them, apparently, according to this guy.
Shit.
Right.
I mean, you could just buy a bottle of Axe and hose them down against their will. That's still rude.
Right.
You're not killing someone.
Yep. After killing her, he disposed of the body.
How dirty does someone have to be for you to kill them? Like, she got bugs jumping off her and shit? Like, what?
No, I think... Okay, I don't know all of the circumstances. I did watch the documentary that is about this case, and in his confession, they showed some of his confession in the documentary. He was saying that he was worried that because he thought she needed to shower, he was worried that because she wouldn't shower, his wife would come home and smell her in their house. And so he was like, you should shower. And she said no. And so he murdered her.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. After killing her, he disposed of the body in a remote area outside of Anchorage. Investigators later connected Veronica's remains to the earlier discovery of a skull found in that region, confirming her identity and death and linking the two cases together. What had once been considered a missing person investigation was now part of a double murder case. Authorities charged Smith with multiple crimes, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, as well as sexual assault, evidence tampering, and misconduct involving a corpse. The case moved slowly through the legal system over the next several years. When the trial finally began in Anchorage in early 2024, which would be 5 years, nearly 5 years after his arrest. It took a long time. Prosecutors presenting the disturbing video evidence recovered from Smith's device. The recordings, along with his confession and other forensic evidence, became central to the case presented to the jury. Jurors heard testimony describing the investigation and the events leading to both women's deaths. Some of the most graphic evidence was shown only to the jury and not the courtroom gallery, but it's just because it was so gross. And the documentary has a lot of information. They have like the big, like giant posters printed out for the jury to see that came from his phone, and they're all blurred out because they're that
Jesus,
that upsetting. I would assume that the jury after this case probably needed some therapy because it was that bad in the descriptions.
You would think there's like a point of where they wouldn't show just random people that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying, but at the same time, they need to see the information that they're basing their decision on.
But okay,
to convict him.
If you're on the jury convicting a child predator because they have child porn, they're not going to show. I'd hope they wouldn't fucking show you that.
I hope not.
Like, there's got to be a line of what's too graphic and what's not.
I agree. And I don't know how graphic any of it was, and I don't need to know. I'll just take everybody's word for it, saying that it was too graphic.
I never thought of that before, like showing the crime scene photos and
yeah.
That's gross.
After deliberating for less than 2 hours, the jury returned a unanimous verdict. On February 22nd, 2024, Brian Stephen Smith was found guilty on 14 counts, including 2 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of Kathleen Jo Henry and Veronica Abouchuk. Several months later, the court imposed the final sentence. In July 2024, Smith was sentenced to 226 years in prison.
That's good.
That is a long-ass time. The sentence included 2 separate 99-year terms for the murders of Kathleen and Veronica, along with additional years for other charges such as sexual assault and evidence tampering. Alaska does not have the death penalty, meaning the sentence ensures Smith will spend the rest of his life in prison. Although Smith has been convicted of these 2 murders, he is suspected of other murders in Alaska, potentially other areas of the U.S., and possibly his home country of South Africa. There are photos.
They should give him death penalty and record it like he did.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And you can hear, like, if you watch the documentary, you can hear the videos that were on his phone and him talking to the victim. And it is awful.
Ugh, God.
The shit that he's saying. It's terrible. There are photos of other women saved on his phone that also appear severely abused and potentially deceased. But at this time, he is not confessing to anything regarding those women. Thankfully, he will be sitting in prison for the rest of his life. So he won't have any other victims, but after the fact, but who knows how many victims he had before these 2. The only reason they tied him to Veronica really is because he confessed to it. And there was another missing woman that they're pretty sure was on his phone, and he denies anything to do with her. She has been declared deceased, but they can't for sure say, like, they haven't found her body. They haven't found anything. And he is not talking. I guess he figured after he confessed to the one they didn't know about that maybe he would shut his damn mouth. I don't know. But regardless, he's in prison for the rest of his life. So, yay.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to tell us about some deep sea creatures and probably give me nightmares because I don't want to know what's in the water.
Yes, talk about 3 of them, and I suggest you look them all up. I'll spell out each one, but
okay.
The first one I'm going to talk about is arguably the most interesting. That's a siphonophore. So
what the?
It's spelled siphonophores. Siphonophore.
Okay. Thank God that the phone knew what I was trying to type because it finally. Ew, it kind of looks like a brine shrimp. Oh, ew. Okay.
So,
all right, go ahead.
A siphonophore is a quote unquote the largest animal in the world, reaching well over 150 feet long. Well, the largest was recorded at 150 feet.
Gross. Gross.
I say quote unquote because a siphonophore isn't actually one animal. It's an organism made up of tens of thousands of small rice-sized organisms called zooids.
Oh, stop. Oh, you know what that
Siphonophores-
means?
What?
They're like in a hive and okay,
No.
go ahead.
Not like a hive. It's different.
Okay.
So
You know how I do with swarming things, and this makes
isn't
me
a
think it's
swarming
kind of like
thing.
a swarm.
no.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no.
Okay. You're making
Think
me
of it more
really
as like a
uncomfortable.
plant, kind of.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of like how a tree, when it grows, it'll grow. What are you doing? Your cat's going crazy.
She playing.
It'll grow like it'll split into two branches, and then those two branches will
Okay.
split into more. So I'll get more into it. But
Okay. Sorry. I was traumatized at the thought that it was swarming things to make one big thing.
No.
Okay.
So siphonophores are distant relatives of jellyfish and often resemble worm-like deep-sea creatures. So they take different
Okay.
forms. Like, it's kind of weird that, like, if you look them up, there's different shapes, different colors. Like,
Yeah.
they're weird.
I did
looking,
see
but
purple and white and pinkish looking.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So these creatures start by one bud called a probud. This organism undergoes fission and creates a genetic identical version of itself over and over and over again, tens of thousands of times until this weird creature is formed.
Okay.
So they're not like, it's not like a little tick running around creating a giant thing. It's like they branch off from each other and create like highways, basically, of like organisms.
Yeah. I saw that it kind of looked like a fern in one of the
Yes, kind
pictures.
of. Like,
yeah.
they grow off of each other. They're not like moving around. They're all technically one organism, but they're individual organisms but they're all clones of each other. So it's like a weird fine line between one animal and tens of thousands of animals.
So, and maybe you'll get to this, but if you take one of the organisms off, can it exist on its own and start a new organism? Oh, okay.
There's a way that I think they can break off, but if one floats off, it's kind of just fucked. But
gotcha. Okay.
So during reproduction, some specific genetic mutations occur that are designed to aid in the colony's needs. So let's start with the OG, the zooid. Zooid is a single part of an organism that makes up the greater whole. Zooids are able to move rapidly and reconfigure themselves quickly, something that's useful for free-floating siphonophores. In general, siphonophore colonies have a modular body plan with many different zooids making up the overall structure. So I'm going to get into some other types. A nectophore is the part that moves the siphonophore altogether. Their genetic defect allows them to move water like a pump to propel the colony through the water.
Okay.
So there will be a colony of zooids, and then certain ones will genetically mutate themselves to become like a pump to propel it, and that's all they do. And there's like it's like a whole community of jobs that work together to create this gigantic thing. Bracts are zooids that are unique to the siphonophore order. They function in protection and maintaining a neutral buoyancy. However, bracts are not present in all species of siphonophores. Gastrozooids are polyps that have evolved a function to assist in the feeding of siphonophores. Palpins are modified gastrozooids that function in digestion by regulating the circulation of the gastrovascular fluids. So there's one colony that digests it, and then there's another type that moves it throughout the body to different cells, if you can call it that.
Okay.
Gonophores are zooids that are involved in the reproduction process of siphonophores. And this one's tough. Pneumatophores are gas filled and aid in the orientation of the colony to keep like its head up and like it moving in a certain direction. Because they have like heads almost like there's different types, but there's like a weird head, if you could call it that, and that's just where those lay to keep it upright, and so it's not just like spinning around in circles, I guess. I don't know. These things are weird, and
I don't want to look at any more pictures. It's grossing me out.
Some siphonophores are bioluminescent to attract prey, and some have even been seen with a rare red bioluminescence. Because normally when you think of that in the ocean, you think of like a bluish, greenish color. Like,
that's what
we've seen the videos of like that one beach where a bunch of bioluminescent stuff washes up and at nighttime it glows.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
These have a red light, and they're kind of deep down, so it attracts like. Their main way of obtaining food is a system of microscopic needles that can poison and stun their prey. So if a small fish or crustacean gets close to it, they have these like webs coming off of them basically. And those are like jellyfish stingers. These are like really closely related to jellyfish. So they'll grab the fish, sting it, and then the gastrozooids will go and digest it. And I forget what they're called. The pulpins will take that digested stuff and feed the rest of the colony with it. So it's super intricate. Like, and it's weird how nature just came up with that. It seems like a weird alien colony. Like,
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, how does nature do that?
Have their own.
How does nature do that? I'm saying no.
Yes. So you might want to skip looking this one up, but
I'm gonna look at.
It's the Bobbit worm. Bobbit, like Hobbit with a B.
I hate worms. I hate worms. You know, I hate worms. Oh, its face.
Yeah. It's like an alien from like the little face huggers from Alien.
I'm sorry to everyone that I just yelled in your ear. Oh, that was gross. Okay.
So a bobbit worm is a prehistoric sea creature that has a centipede-like body and an iridescent exoskeleton, almost like a rainbow pattern. So like think of like an oil slick. That's what its body looks like. And it's like a rainbow underneath the water. It looks super cool. Gross, but cool.
Yeah.
And they've even found these. So I say prehistoric because they have 20 million year old, I want to say 20 million year old fossils of this thing that they found in Japan. And it's the exact same thing that they have. So this thing just survived forever. Yeah.
Ooh, it's a hardy little thing. It's like a cockroach. It's the cockroach of the sea.
It is, and it kind of looks like a cockroach too. It's gross looking. But the head of the bobbit worm has 5 highly sensitive antennas and a very large pincher jaw that can retract inside the body and are known for being able to cut its prey in half.
Okay.
Their body ranges anywhere from, get this, 4 inches to 9.5 feet long.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
A 9 foot long little centipede worm. Ugh.
But
they're only about an inch thick. So
how long are they, or how low in the ocean are they?
They're like 300 feet. I think.
Okay. So I'm
fairly
not
deep. You're not
ever gonna accidentally. Okay. All right. I'm never going that deep in the ocean. It's fine.
Although I've seen they have like little small versions that live on the beaches.
No, stop it.
They're so gross. I see videos of them all the time and they're disgusting.
Nope.
So to hunt, the bobbit worm buries its body into the sand up to its head, then sits and waits for a fish or crustacean to move past its antenna before it violently lunges out, snapping whatever's in between those jaws in half. The bobbit worm also has the ability to regenerate segments of its body, specifically its tail. So if it loses its tail, it can just grow into one, like a lizard.
Wow.
And its whole body is its tail, basically. So it could just keep growing. So the next one is the Yeti crab. You should look this one up. This one's not gross.
Okay. All right.
The Yeti crab is a small white crab that lives on the bottom of the ocean near hydrothermal vents. These vents release hot water and chemicals that a lot of deep sea bacteria congregate near. That is where these little crabs like to hang out because the long white hair that covers their body works as a filter.
It's furry.
The long hairs, it's a little furry crab. Yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah, I don't like
The long hairs the long hairs that granted them their name, Yeti crabs, catch the bacteria near the chimneys, and they use small little pinchers to pick the bacteria off their hair and eat the bacteria.
And it's in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, they're weird looking things.
Oh, that's too close.
Near like these little chimneys is like just hundreds of them because they just sit there on the floor. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like it.
So this one, I couldn't find a whole lot on it, but it's the hatchet fish. These strange-looking deep-sea fish have huge bulbous eyes that allow them to search the darkness for potential prey. But these fish also have a little trick to protect themselves.
Okay, wait
Hatchet
a second.
Fish.
Is that the fish? The hatchet fish?
I think
just looks
there's
like a fish.
different versions. Look up deep sea hatchet fish.
Oh. Okay, let me see.
Because I think there's like different versions, and these ones I'm specifically talking about are deep sea.
Oh!
Yeah. Giant bulbous eyes.
Oh! Yeah. Okay, so it reminds me of years ago, I think it was a Doritos commercial. I could be wrong on the brand. That was on the Super Bowl, and it was about weird like bred dogs, and it had like a little tiny Chihuahua body but a giant like Doberman Pinscher head on a little Chihuahua body, and then that was the dog of the commercial.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what that looked like, but in fish form.
It looks super weird. So the eyes are the most catching part of it, but they have a special little mechanism to keep them alive. They have a light producing cell called photophores on the bottom of their body to mimic the light coming through the depths of the ocean, essentially camouflaging themselves below. So they're able to detect the specific shade of blue and light up the bottom of themselves, so they essentially disappear to people to fish underneath them.
Wow. Yeah. So nothing's going up to eat them.
Yeah. So weird though
that is wild.
Deep sea creatures are fucking gross. I have one more. This one you have to look up. Okay. This one is the craziest looking fish ever. So this is the barrel eye fish, all one word. This fish looks pretty normal on the back half, but as soon as you see its face, you'd be shocked.
Yeah.
The barrel eye fish has a small, like, protruding mouth that looks like lips and what appears to be two small eyes above the mouth. However, those are actually nostrils. Behind the nostrils of the head of the fish is a completely clear skull, and inside the fish's clear skull sits two slightly glowing dome-shaped eyes. The barrel eyes are able to see through its completely clear skull to see its prey above it and whatever happens to fall slightly in its line of sight.
Ugh.
But yes, this story came with some homework. People look up those fishes and just be surprised. But
for sure. Yeah,
the barrel
look
eye
that
fish
shit
is
up,
the craziest one. It looks
other
like a
people need to
submarine.
see that stuff, because I was traumatized, so other people should be traumatized as well.
And that's why I'm terrified of the ocean, because that's where monsters live.
For sure.
Creepy alien structures and
I think you paid me back for all the times that I've grossed you out with like neurologic disorders and weird health conditions and stuff that always make you squeamish. That my skin is
most
crawling.
Of them were cool. I'm terrified of deep sea stuff, but it's cool. Those are the cooler ones. There's like much grosser things like grouper eels
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like, there's some really weird stuff down there.
The best thing about your story is that it's deep sea, and so the likelihood of me ever
You're never gonna
encountering
see one.
any of those things
No.
is like basically zero.
I think siphonophores can get up to the top, but not the big ones. I think they just look like a line of, because I've seen people get like stung by them, but
Okay.
for the most part, the big creepy gross ones are down below.
If you were going to encounter any one of those things, which one would you most want to encounter, and which one would you least want to encounter?
The barrel eye fish, because it looks
For most,
really cool.
you'd want
and
to see
I don't
that?
think it would do any. I don't think it can hurt you. It's got a little tiny mouth and it just eats like shrimp.
Okay.
But I don't want to meet the siphonophore. That one.
Same.
It can get up to 150 feet long, and they're just like.
No.
The biggest picture they have of
Gross.
it looks like a topographical map of like Antarctica. It's just like a giant
gross.
spiral thing, and like it's all connected, and it just sweeps
Ugh.
by and eats little fish or krill or whatever the fuck falls in its hairs. That
At least it's eating like things that are not human, because I would.
but it has
just the
little
look of it, though.
microscopic
It's-
needles that fucking sting you and poison you.
Yeah. No, I don't like
Ugh.
it. I don't like it. You traumatized me,
Fine.
Deklan. This is all your fault. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Well, that's why you stay out of the ocean.
That's true. Do you have a chaser for us today?
Yes, my chaser is a watch recommendation again for the show
Nice.
Ted. There's two
Oh,
movies,
yes.
Ted, with Mark Wahlberg, but the TV show is really funny. Like, it's
I would
made by
agree.
the guy who makes Family Guy.
Yes.
Oh, what's his fucking name? Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he made the TV show, and it kind of feels like Family Guy, but in a more digestible form. Because Family Guy is like bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang, next scene, next scene, next scene. This is like
Yeah.
has the same joke and like timing, and the music is the exact same too. Like when they switch to a new scene, it's like do 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 do.
Oh.
It's the
Oh,
exact same
okay.
as Family Guy, so it kind of reminds me of that. But it's
Yeah.
a show about a teenage kid and his talking teddy bear that came to life.
came to
If you've seen the
life,
movies,
yeah.
it's the same thing, but
It's the same.
It's-
yeah.
it's probably the funniest show I've seen in a really long time. Like I was
Um,
cackling.
you told
watching
us about it, and I turned it on, and your dad goes, I did not tell him what you said about the connection with Family Guy
Mhm.
and that the similarities. And we got about 10 minutes in, he goes, this is just a live action Family Guy. And I go, that's basically what
That's
Deklan
funny.
said too. Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I didn't realize he knew.
Yep.
I heard he watched it a couple times, but I didn't know he
Yeah.
would make that connection. That's funny.
He definitely did, and he made it quickly. So, I
Did you
thought
guys
that
like
was
it, though?
funny. Yeah, we did like it. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, it's really funny.
yeah. My chaser is also a watch recommendation, and it's for the TV show. And it's funny because yours is based is a TV show based on a movie, and mine is a TV show based on a movie as well. And it's The Burbs, which is on Peacock.
Okay.
There was a movie back in, I don't know, I think it was the late 80s, called The Burbs. But the TV show is about a couple who move to the husband's hometown and live in the house that he grew up in, and the ensuing hijinks that happen in a small town cul-de-sac community, and the rumors that people are saying about each other. And it's kind of a whodunit mystery because they think that the neighbor is a bad guy, and there's potentially a murder to solve, and none of these people are police officers, but they're all just being nosy neighbors. And
that sounds interesting.
It's a cute little show.
It's not a reality show, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. It sounds like a reality show.
It does, but it's not.
It's not? Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out then. I can't
It's
do reality shows.
good. I think you would like it. There were many times that your dad was just yelling at the TV, "Stop being a nosy bitch." And he was not just talking about women, because some of the male neighbors are also nosy bitches too. So
I don't understand neighbors like that. Leave me alone. If you're cool,
Same.
we can hang out, but leave me alone.
Yeah.
Mind your
Other than
business.
that, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think that wraps up today's episode. I think that was a good one.
does.
Both of our stories are pretty cool.
It was. Yeah, for sure.
that.
Although yours was creepier than mine. And
Yeah,
mine
but
was gross.
Mine's fascinating, I think. There's
It
definitely
is.
aliens down
It
there.
is, actually. I think if I didn't look up the siphonophore, I would have been less creeped out, because it does look very, and then when you described that it was like a lot of organisms together, it just seemed swarmy to me, and I don't deal with swarm stuff. Ugh.
Well, the fact that they're all made up of like just one, it's kind of like a plant animal, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
when you see the small versions of the zooids that split off and stuff, it looks like plant material, but it acts like
I'll just think of it as a fern. It's just a plant. It's not
it's.
an
You know what it is?
organism that could.
It's an ocean version of a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
It traps little animals in its thing, digests it, and grows
Yep.
new
true.
things. Yeah, they're fucking
Yep.
gross looking though. You're right.
I think the fact that it's also 150 feet long is also
Yeah.
daunting. I don't want to encounter anything that's 150 feet long ever,
And the
even if it
grossest
can't hurt
part
me.
is like since it's deep sea, it's just a blue, like the picture of the world's largest
Blob.
one. It's just blue with white
Yeah.
lines, but
Yeah.
there's no way of. They need a diver down there to show how big it is, because it looks like that
True.
could be 15 feet, but
Nothing.
150.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh.
God,
No.
it's terrifying. I hate
Anything
those.
that's that big. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Love you, Mom.
Love you, bud. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.